Today we're looking at a very controversial artist, Damien Hirst. And of course we're focusing this week on death and the afterlife. And this artist, I would say, is obsessed with death. He is a contemporary artist, which once again means he is currently living and working. And he's very conceptual in nature. Death is the theme in most of his work.
When we look at conceptual artists, sometimes their work is a little bit off the wall. It's not necessarily paintings or sculptures in that traditional sense. Sometimes they'll do things called installations that are really only able to be viewed in a certain specific space. So once it's set up there, you can't take it off the wall, for example, and go put it someplace else. It's got to live there until it's time to remove the artwork, and then it's gone. We'll look at some of his installations. And you thought that the death theme was more subtle in previous artworks that we've looked at. This is not that at all, so brace yourself.
Not at all. You're probably looking at the first one, a beautiful radial design. You're thinking, oh, lots of colors, lots of repetition, very beautiful to look at.
It's
radial
pretty.
Designs are very mesmerizing, yes. What you may not have noticed is that they're all butterfly wings. And these aren't butterflies that died of natural causes. They were killed by him. Just the fact that he's willing to take the life, even if it's just of these insects, these butterflies, for the sake of his art.
And I mean, his argument and his justification is that he believes that there's beauty in death, that it's part of the circle of life, so to speak. And so why only ever focus on the life part of that when death is inevitable for everybody? His most famous work is this image of a shark that is a real shark in a tank of formaldehyde. The title for this is just going to roll off the tongue: The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, which I'm sure you were going to guess that. Yeah, it's a real shark. They do have to replace the shark every so often because, it's preserved, but only so much.
Yeah.
The one that we're really going to focus on is this, which is a beautiful human skull.
Right, so this is titled For the Love of God because his mother famously said to him one time, for the love of God, Damien, what are you going to do next? Because he was always thinking of these off-the-wall things, not just his artwork, but I think as a young kid, he kind of just was a little more...
He was different.
On the edge, yes. So this he created in 2007, and a platinum cast of an actual human skull. And then it's got 8,600 diamonds, including that large pear-shaped one you can see on the forehead, covering it. Those are actually human teeth also that were placed into the skull.
He did have a dentist help him with getting them cleaned up. So there's that.
But it's famous for being the most expensive work of art ever made. So he is a very wealthy man, and he actually makes a lot of money off of his work, but he puts it back into his work. And so he used a lot of his own money to make this artwork. So it was the most expensive work of art ever made. Really what's funny is I don't think he actually did much of it himself. He kind of hires out help to place these diamonds and things
the jeweler
like
that he had help him with getting all those diamonds encrusted onto the skull, in casting the skull in platinum too, also makes a lot of jewelry for the Queen of England. So he's got some qualified people to help him.
We've talked previously about, pretty much at this point in the world, everything's already been thought of, already been created. So he definitely excels in pushing the boundaries of what's considered art, really trying to find things that are out there and making a statement.
Even if this isn't an artist or artwork that you personally like, I know a lot of people are probably going to have some issues with his stance on animals in art, but he's so famous that you really have to know about him and know what he's doing in the bigger context of art history, because he's going to be in textbooks.